What's going on, Muscle Monsters? Align Gonzalez here, and today I want to talk about aesthetics, right? Building a physique with the proportions that you want, okay? So, a lot of the time you'll hear guys saying things like, bicep curls are useless, or isolating muscle groups is stupid, it's a waste of time, you're not getting the most bang for your buck, and so on and so forth. And to some of those, I kind of agree with, but it really depends on the context. Here's what I mean, right? We create these programs, and these programs are created to put as much lean muscle mass on someone as possible, right? Just overall muscle mass, okay? But if you're not a beginner or someone who doesn't still need to just build that foundation, then specialization training can actually be beneficial. In fact, it might actually be necessary. Okay, let's say you're a beginner and you just have to put on muscle mass. Then you follow a well-rounded training routine that focuses on putting overall muscle mass on you, right? And you can train in that fashion for quite some time. Okay, but the problem is that your genetics will start to take over, and what I mean by that is just because you're putting on overall muscle mass with a pretty well balanced training routine doesn't mean that your body is going to grow in the proportions that you want it, right? So here's what I'm saying. You might see somebody who's been training for a few years and they follow one of these well balanced routines, and they have very small chests, but their triceps are huge. Or you might see somebody who's got this huge chest, but they've got no triceps, or things of that nature, right? It's not to say these people don't even lift. These people have been lifting for years. It's just the way that their body has developed due to their genetics, right? Which is a huge role in how your body actually takes its shape once you've put on muscle mass. Okay, so after you have put on a fair amount of muscle, right? You've completely transformed your body, and now you're just a muscular guy. It's time to look at your physique, and you might say, hey, I'm happy with the progress that I've made, but I want my shoulders to be bigger, and I don't want my chest to grow anymore, right? And this is mainly for guys who are really just focused on aesthetics, right? You want a certain look, right? Because some guys, they don't care about that. They just want to get bigger, they want to get stronger, and that's different. We're talking about guys who want a very specific look, okay? So what happens is we continue to be told that specialization training is no good, and it's pointless, it's useless, it's a waste of time, but we continue to build these not imbalanced physiques, but physiques that don't meet the criteria that we want, right? We don't have the broader shoulders with the thinner waistline, or we don't have the big chest to match our bigger arms, or vice versa. So at this point, it's probably a good idea to specialize on specific muscle groups. Maybe take one or two muscle groups that you really just want to bring out and start specialization training. So you train these muscle groups maybe 2-3 times a week, and then the rest of your muscle groups, you just do kind of like a maintenance workout, something that's just enough for you to maintain what you have while you're using your resources of recovery and such to help in building the muscles that you are specializing. All right, does that make sense? So for example, someone like me whose chest is more so developed than his arms might want to say, okay, it's time to run an arm specialization program for 6 weeks or however long, right? In that 6 weeks, what I would do is I would train my arms 2 to 3 times a week, and then I would train the rest of my body maybe once or twice a week with a full body routine, just to maintain the muscle that I have there, but really focus on progressively overloading the stimulus, or the workload that I'm putting onto my arms, so that I can bring the arms up while everything else stays the same. Otherwise, what's going to happen? I'm going to continue to build my chest, and although my arms also get bigger, my chest gets bigger as well, so it never balances out to look the way I wanted it to look. I hope that makes sense to you. If it did, click the like button below, subscribe for more videos. If you need to bring out your arms, then download my Total Arm Assault, completely free. If you need to bring up your chest, download my free chest training DVD. I'll put links below. Just go there, put your name and your email address. You'll get instant access to that. If you have any questions, leave them below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.